Baby lock, when you first join the Crips, you're a baby lock, and that means you're at the absolute bottom. You don't get respect automatically just because you wear the flag now. You're expected to prove yourself by doing whatever the older members tell you to do, which usually means handling the grunt work nobody else wants. That could be standing on corners for hours, running errands, holding drugs or weapons for higher ups, or taking the fall if something goes wrong. You watch, you listen, and you keep your mouth shut until you've earned your stripes. The other members are testing you constantly to see if you're reliable and whether you'll fold under pressure. Young Gangster, YG, once you've proven yourself as a peewee, you get promoted to Young Gangster or YG. This is where things get more serious. As a YG, you're expected to follow orders without question, whether that means standing lookout, delivering packages, or handling confrontations with rivals. You're building your reputation now, which means showing you're reliable and won't back down when things get heated. The gang watches how you handle pressure and whether you can be trusted with bigger responsibilities. If you do well as a YG, you move up the ladder, but if you mess up or show weakness, you might get demoted or worse. Gangster, G. Once you made it to G, you were officially in. This meant you could rep the set anywhere, wear the full colors, and nobody questioned your status. Daily life revolved around your hood. You'd post up on the block with your homies, keep watch for rivals or police, and handle whatever business the set had going. Some Gs sold drugs or did robberies to bring in money. Others just hung around and backed up their crew when problems popped up. You answered to the OGs above you and looked out for the younger members coming up. Being a G meant you were expected to show up when called and put in work when your set needed you. OG, original gangster. An OG is basically a gang veteran who's put in serious time and survived. These guys have been active for years, sometimes decades, and they've earned their status through actual experience rather than just talking big. An OG typically calls the shots in their set, mentoring younger members and making decisions about territory or conflicts. They've usually done prison time, been through violent situations, and proven their loyalty repeatedly. Younger members look to them for guidance and approval. The trade-off is that OGs also carry heavy responsibilities. They're expected to resolve disputes, plan operations, and keep their crew in line. If things go wrong under their watch, they're held accountable. Big homie. A big homie is an older gang member who's done time and earned respect through years in the game. This is the guy younger members look up to for advice on everything from handling beef to managing money from illegal operations. He's not necessarily the shot caller or the top boss, but he's got influence because of his experience and track record. Big homies mentor the young guys, teaching them the unwritten rules and how to move without drawing unnecessary heat. In some gangs, you might have multiple big homies, each overseeing different sets or neighborhoods. They're the bridge between the street soldiers doing the work and the higher-ups making strategic decisions. Shot caller. A shot caller is the guy making decisions for his set on the ground. He's not necessarily the absolute top of the hierarchy, but he's high enough that his word carries weight and people listen when he speaks. This guy coordinates drug operations, decides when to retaliate against rivals, approves who gets jumped in, and handles disputes within the set. He's constantly on the phone or meeting face-to-face with soldiers and other shot callers to keep everything running. The job means being tactical about when to move and when to lay low, balancing aggression with survival. If he makes bad calls, people get locked up or killed, and he loses respect fast. Set leader. A set leader is the top dog in a specific Crip neighborhood, the one making final calls on everything from initiating new members to declaring war on rivals. This person usually earned the spot through years of putting in work, building respect, and proving they can handle business without getting everyone locked up or killed. The responsibilities are massive because you're managing dozens or even hundreds of members, settling internal disputes, coordinating drug operations, and deciding how to respond when someone disrespects the set. You're also the main target for both police investigations and enemy gangs looking to destabilize your crew. Most set leaders don't advertise their position openly since visibility brings heat, so they operate more like shadow CEOs than flashy bosses. Enforcer. An enforcer is basically the gang's muscle and internal cop rolled into one. They're the ones who make sure everyone follows the rules and handle it when someone steps out of line. If a member steals from the organization, sells on the side, or talks too much to outsiders, the enforcer pays them a visit. The punishment depends on how serious the violation is. Could be a beating, could be losing a finger, or in extreme cases, they just disappear. Most enforcers are chosen because they're physically intimidating and don't hesitate when violence is necessary. They also mediate disputes between members before things escalate into something messier. It's a position that requires loyalty and a reputation for being ruthless. Soldier. Being a soldier means you're doing the actual dirty work every single day. You're the one standing on corners, moving product, collecting debts, and handling disputes that pop up in your territory. The higher-ups give orders and you carry them out, whether that's intimidating someone who owes money, protecting a drug house, or dealing with rivals who step into your area. It's constant risk with little reward. You might make a few $100s a week if things go well, but you're also the first person the police target and the first one rival gangs shoot at during conflicts. Most soldiers are young, expendable in the eyes of leadership, and easily replaced if they get locked up or killed. Double OG. In Crip culture, a double OG is the highest tier of respect you can reach, and it takes decades to get there. We're talking about someone who's been active in the gang for 20, 30, sometimes 40 years and has survived everything the streets throw at you. These are the guys who founded sets back in the 70s or 80s and are still around. A double OG has usually done serious time, put in major work, and earned their reputation through actual action, not just talk. Their word carries weight because they've lived through gang wars, seen friends die, and made decisions that shaped entire neighborhoods. Younger members look to them for guidance and approval. They're living legends in their communities, and disrespecting a double OG is something you just don't do. Lieutenant. The lieutenant sits just below the boss in the chain of command and handles the daily grind of running operations. This is the person making sure street-level dealers show up, collections happen on time, and territory stays secure. A lieutenant manages a crew of soldiers and earners, passes orders down from the boss, and reports information back up. Think of it as middle management, but with actual consequences for failure. The role requires someone who can handle logistics, settle disputes without escalating everything to the boss, and keep multiple operations moving smoothly. A good lieutenant makes the boss's life easier by filtering problems and only bringing up what actually matters. The position also serves as a proving ground for future leadership. Regional boss. A regional boss runs the show across multiple neighborhoods, handling sets that might be 10 or 20 blocks apart. This person doesn't manage day-to-day corner operations anymore. They're coordinating between lieutenants, moving product where it's needed, and settling disputes between different sets before they turn violent. If one neighborhood is hot with police activity, the regional boss redirects operations to cooler areas. They also collect money from each set and pass it up the chain, taking their cut along the way. It's a logistics job as much as anything else. And you're basically running a small business with multiple locations, except the consequences for screwing up aren't just lost profits.